Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse, Batman in his hazmat suit, and this is the light-up Target exclusive gold label edition. I've been looking for this guy for a long time, popped into Target today, and sure enough, they had about 8 of these guys. This guy appears to be superior to the standard Hazmat Batman in every possible way. The metallic parts of his armor, the detailing on the figure, and then, of course, the light-up bat symbol. So let's go and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 points for articulation, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, McFarlane gold label collection, DC Multiverse Batman in his hazmat suit with the light-up Batman symbol. One side of the package, Batman in his hazmat suit from Justice League, the Amazo virus. Other side, Batman in his hazmat suit. The bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. And the back side, you see Batman posed up, his bat symbol lit up, and here a bunch of other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures you should check out. Doesn't look like he comes with any traditional accessories, simply a display stand and a collector's card. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And of course, I did get 2 of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, and one to keep unopened in my complete 6 and 7 inch unopened Batman-related action figure collection. And here's the light-up version of Batman in his hazmat suit. This is the standard version. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with a display stand and a collector's card, no traditional accessories. But the unique thing about this figure, he has a light-up bat symbol on his chest. The first time McFarlane has made any sort of light-up features in any of their McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. This guy is a Target exclusive, at least here in the US, gold label edition, and frankly, I expect him to be the exact same paint job as the original version, but this guy appears to have a way better paint job. So this is Batman in his hazmat suit during the Amazo virus crisis. The Amazo virus was a virus created by Lex Luthor. It was intended to get rid of metahuman abilities, but it didn't exactly have that effect. It would get rid of their abilities, and then it would give them different abilities, and it would also brainwash them. Batman got infected by the Amazo virus, and he became blind, but he was able to use sonar, just like a bat. This is Batman in his hazmat suit to protect him from the virus. Honestly, I want to call this guy COVID-19 Response Batman. Kind of funny variant. So let's take a look at him. As far as variants go, I think it's really cool. I could find a lot of times to have a Batman in a sort of hazmat type suit, fighting Scarecrow, maybe the Joker toxin, etc. So he's got this sort of glass shield on his face. You can see the face inside. Really doesn't look bad. All these tubes coming out. And I've had the other version for a long time. I'm not even very careful how I store the figures. Nothing is broken. They're not very fragile. His armor has a much more sort of metallic and worn or weathered look to it. It looks very crisp, a lot better than the other version. You can see he's still got a little tab here. I've been just waiting to pull this thing out. Ah, there we go. Light up bat symbol. Not sure quite how to turn that off. 1 second. Okay, so a little confusing there. I couldn't figure out how it worked. There's no button. I had to Google it. And it says when you push the backpack in and out his back, but for me, I sort of push it upward, turns the light on. There it goes, stays on, and you can push it back up, turns it off. I was a little concerned that you're going to have to take the batteries out to turn it on and off. That would have really sucked. It's a pretty bright light. We'll definitely check that out here in a little bit in the dark. Bat symbol looks good. Obviously, it's transparent with a light inside of there. I like the little contagion symbol on his chest. More tubes coming out. Utility belts, gold. You can see different parts of his suit have texturing. I like that. It's sort of more armored here. A little more sort of cloth looking here. Kevlar. He's got forearm armor. His gauntlets, they appear to be metal. Backpack itself looks pretty good. Got a little screw here. Take a small screwdriver, pop it out. You can always replace the batteries. It's going to be a little bit different than the other one, I imagine. We will compare them in depth together. Little pouch on the side. Looks like double jointed knees. Double jointed elbows. Nice metallic look on the armor. Did a fantastic job on this guy. Kind of makes me regret having the first one, but of course, I'm a sucker for all the variants, but this guy's superior in every way, shape, or form for just $3 more. And then a closer look at his face or head sculpt. Batman looks pretty angry inside of here. You can only really see his chin. You can barely see his eyes, but it looks like they have white lenses. And just one more thing. Not sure if I mentioned this or not, but when I was at Target, they had about 8 of this guy. They had a few on the shelf and a couple on the end cap. I imagine they come in full cases of 6. The store probably got 2 cases. So this guy should not be that hard to find. The fact that he's a unique price and a unique UPC number, they're obviously going to have to come in full cases. I doubt they'd mix in a $22.99 figure with the $19.99 figures. Shouldn't be that hard to find, although I imagine in the long run he'll be a very sought after and popular figure. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, says DC on the bottom. It's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the light up Hazmat Suit Batman in a room. Chest lit up, looks like he has some sort of green light on him. Batman Hazmat Suit from Justice League, the Amazo virus. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Here's the gold label Hazmat Suits collector's card, next to the standard version. And now to look at his action feature. It's a bat symbol, his chest lights up. Kind of reminds me of Jean-Paul Valley in his armored bat suit. He had a similar feature in the comics. Batman symbol there, kind of teal around the edge, transparent in the middle, presumably some kind of light bulb inside. So raise his backpack up a little bit, turns on, might take a couple tries to get it to stay on. There it goes. Very bright. Here's this thing lit up in the dark. I mean, look how powerful that light looks. Very impressed. A lot of these figures with light up features have this really dull light, but not this guy. And if you turn him around, doesn't exactly get the bat symbol on the wall, but you can definitely see where the light hits the wall opposite of this guy. Now let's check out the gold label Hazmat Batman next to the standard version. And the standard version is a nice figure, but I almost feel like it kind of sucks now because this other one is so much better. So, starting with our heads here. Their heads are pretty much the same. No real differences with the paint job. The tubes, they're more of a gray or maybe silver color here. They're a dark gray here. You can see the shoulder armor alone looks considerably different. Plain black, boring, metallic, weathered, worn. The front here, they do both have the same transparent bat symbol here, but of course this one lights up. Looks pretty similar there. Shoulder pads are different, tubes are different. The forearm armor is different, tubes are different again. Belts are a little bit different, gold here, kind of brown here. Going further down, looks like they painted what appears to be little inoculations here. Here it's very boring looking. Knee pads are different. You can see the armor plate here is painted on this guy, and here you really can't even tell that it's there. You can't tell the difference between the regular purpose suit and the little armor plate. Of course, armor is different down here. Overall, this guy pops and looks way better. And honestly, this is not a bad figure, but for just $3, they really decked this one out. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his action feature, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's standing at about 6.9 inches tall, which can translate to about 17.5 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.1 inches. Now let's check out his articulation. Start with his head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. The tube here is pretty much pulled as far as it can go. Notice it's even pulling the backpack closer to the figure to turn the light on, but it's not permanently on right now. Can't look up about that far, down about that far. Can't tilt his head from one side to the other. Give him a good amount of personality. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes up about 90 degrees. Shoulder pad's going to obstruct some of that. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does have a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area. Increase the range of motion. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbow below that. Notice the light keeps coming on because I keep touching the backpack. His wrists, a ball in it. They can rotate, and they're going to be hinged as well. Ball joint his torso. Rotate around, forward and back. Another ball joint his waist. Rotate around, go forward and back. His torso is one you have to be sort of careful with. You can stretch those twos, but it's going to have to go really far to get to the end of that point. Legs, complete as a splits. Not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation is pretty much non-existent. They go forward about that far, back about that much. Double jointed knees go all the way back. And his ankle here has a ball in it. Goes forward and back. Can rotate, can tilt, rock. And he's got toe articulation. And even though this is not what he's intended for, I thought this Hazmat Suit Batman would be a great suit for when he's fighting Poison Ivy. Perhaps using some of her pheromones against Batman. But he'll be resilient in this suit. Or taking on the Joker, as is about to spray his laughing gas out of this briefcase with a flower. And of course, Batman taking out Scarecrow as he's about to put his fear toxin in Gotham City's water supply in the sewers. It would have been nice if Batman had a suit like this in Arkham Knight, when he was trying to fight Scarecrow and the Arkham Knight with their cloudburst weapon. Here's Batman in a ruined building in Gotham, wearing his hazmat suit. Here's Bruce Wayne confronting Lex Luthor about the Amazo virus. Bruce tells him he knows he's developing it, but it's untested, and there are too many possible side effects or variables. And before he leaves, he mentions, "Hey, nice suit, by the way." Here's sort of my own version of events from the Amazo virus. Here's Amazo in the streets of Metropolis. He's causing a distraction, getting all the heroes together at one time. Green Lantern, Batman, Superman, and the Flash face off against Amazo. And here, the heroes spring into action, have a long, drawn-out fight with Amazo. After they defeat Amazo, you can see the metahumans are affected by the virus. Of course, later side effects are going to affect the regular humans, like Batman and Hal Jordan. Batman comes back to the quarantined area in his hazmat suit. He's much more prepared this time. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the standard version of the Hazmat Suit Batman. And here he is, next to several different McFarlane Batman figures. Just like the Hazmat Suit Batman, these are all based off the comics. Then, next to several more Batman figures, these are from different various forms of media. And although the Hazmat Suit is not exactly an armored Batman suit, here's the Hazmat Suit Batman next to a couple of armored Batman figures from The Dark Knight Returns and in his Hellbent armor. Now let's check him out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is next to a couple of Lex Luthor figures. Then, next to Superboy Prime and The Dark Knight Returns Armored Batman, Blue Edition. And here he is next to a couple of Lobo figures. Then, next to the Mortal Kombat 11 Joker and the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn. And here he is next to the Year 2 Batman. Then, next to the recently released Batman 3 Joker's Wave. And now, next to all three of the Swamp Thing Mega figures. Here he is next to Nightwing and Red Hood from Gotham Knights. And then, next to the Batman Who Laughs and Robin Crow's 4-pack. And here he is next to McFarlane's The Batman line. And finally, next to the Speed Force Flash from Zack Snyder's Justice League, and Reverse Flash from DC's Rebirth Comics. Here's Batman in his hazmat suit from Justice League The Amazo Virus, next to Amazo himself by Mattel. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Since we already checked him out next to a bunch of different McFarlane Batman figures, here he is with a bunch of other McFarlane figures. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more McFarlane toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST, or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles Batman figures. And here he is, next to some NECA Batman figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 Collective Batman figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse Batman figures. And here, with some Mafex Batman figures. And then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts Batman figures. And finally, here he is, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, this is a fantastic Batman figure, better than the regular Hazmat release in every way, shape, and form. The paint job, the light-up feature is excellent, very bright, works very well. I don't need every single Batman variant that they make. Well, I guess I do, but most people don't. But this one makes a ton of sense. I could use this guy in a lot of different Batman-themed action figure scenarios. From COVID-19 response Batman to Scarecrow the Fear Toxin and everything in between, I give this guy 2 thumbs up. His articulation is pretty good, shoulders could be a little better, thigh rotation could be a little better, the sculpt and paint job are excellent, accessories are non-existent. I'm still going to rate this guy an 8.5 out of 10. I just think the light up feature is so cool, and they executed it very well. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.